Welcome to Broken Catholic, the number one Catholic voice in America. Why? Because I speak about the things that nobody else is talking about. Things that are important to you, like why the world isn't working right now. Because we all get that it's broken. It's not working. There's too much hatred. There's too much divisiveness, even amongst Christians and believers. Why are we all fighting each other? It makes no sense to me. Plus, I tackle unspeakable topics that you may secretly struggle with, but won't admit. I'm your host, your coach, your friend, Joseph Warren. I'm also a broken Catholic and former atheist. And I was almost murdered twice, but God spared me because I believe He has a higher purpose for my life. Hopefully, I'm living that now. This show is created for you, the person who wants to be loved, who wants to be accepted, and who wants to be reminded that God has a higher purpose for your life. If this is your first time joining us, welcome to the show. And if you are one of the thousands of listeners that listen to us in over 34 countries every single week, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being here every single week. Without you, this show does not happen. Now, every week I bring you a different guest, and we speak about different topics that are sometimes tragic, topics that are sometimes emotional, sometimes they're happy, they're joyful, and they evoke all different emotions in my listeners because we're all going through different things in our lives at different times. But this week, I'm doing something different. This week, there's no guest on the show. There's just me. Today is Independence Day. And I want to speak to you about my personal Independence Day and how that may or may not connect with you. And I really hope it does connect with you. And I think it may. So I ask you just to be open now as I speak just authentically from my heart, no script, just me and you here right now on Independence Day. So, of course, we have the world's version of Independence Day, and it's been cheapened all the way down to 4th of July, right? That's what we call it. We don't even call it Independence Day most of the time, which I think is a shame. So I'm being intentional. Happy Independence Day, right? This was our freedom. This is a day of freedom. That's what it means. Independence, freedom from something, freedom from slavery, freedom from chains, freedom from the bondage, something that holds you down, holds you back from being and living your full potential. So Independence Day can mean something totally different and personal to you. It doesn't just have to be a patriotic holiday. It can be personal. So that's why I want to bring it down to that level. Let's talk about that. So my Independence Day actually happened not too long ago when I finally let go of my self-reliance, relying on Joseph to plan, to be successful, to all my plans and schemes. Not that they were selfish, they were good goals and good dreams, and there's nothing wrong with them, but they were my goals and my dreams. Now, hold on a second. Now, there's nothing wrong with me having goals and dreams, just like there's nothing wrong with you having goals and dreams. However, here's what I discovered. I realized that my entire life, I've been pursuing my goals and dreams. And sometimes I'll hit little ones, but most of the time I really never get any further. It's like chasing the horizon or the sunset. I can never actually achieve it, right? So I realized this isn't working for me. So when we realize something isn't working, what do? Hopefully you change your approach, right? Well, I decided, okay, approach isn't working. The reason why is I'm trying to find my purpose. I'm trying to find meaning in my life. I'm trying to find my calling by searching within myself. Well, that part is kind of confusing now because I had to sit and reflect with that. And I had to reflect with the idea that I did not create myself. I wasn't there before I was born. I didn't create my future. I didn't create my identity. I didn't create my DNA. I didn't create any of that. So why would I search within myself for my own purpose, for my future? Why would I search within myself for answers I don't have? Right? And we do this all the time. Like almost every single self-help book on the planet that speaks about how to find your purpose talks about the same approach. Search within yourself to find the purpose and the meaning of your life. And I think that's 100% the wrong approach. It doesn't work. I've spent my whole life doing it, trying it. It doesn't work. And I suspect that you probably know it's the same for you. So, what new approach did I try? I said, you know what? If I didn't create me, who did? And I really had to come down to the realization. Now, again, I started the show off that I was a former atheist, right? So I was raised Catholic in a very good, loving home until the age of 8.5. And then my parents got violently divorced, and our loving home turned into a war zone. And I made an unconscious decision at 8.5 years old, with all the trauma and everything that was going on, the emotional and psychological abuse to us children. I made an unconscious decision never to love again. And I left God, I left my family at age 19, and I went out and I started pursuing success and pleasure. And I got them both. Like I worked my tail off 110 hours a week, and I found success. We did well. We did $2 million in my first startup within 12 months. And I found pleasure. I slept with a ton of girls. I had a great time. However, I was the loneliest, the most depressed, the most despairing, and unhappy that I've ever been in my entire life was in those moments when I had everything the world told me was what I wanted. And it was a lie. So how does this connect to Independence Day? Well, it connects to Independence Day in a very powerful way. I had to realize that I was in control of nothing in my life. I lost everything, right? I fast forward 5 years later, all the partying and all the pleasure and everything that I was doing, I lost everything. I lost my money. I lost my cars. I lost all the girls. I lost the place where I lived. All my friends abandoned me, all within a 2-week time frame. And even my girlfriend at the time dumped me on my birthday, all within 2 weeks. God literally ripped out all the distractions that were keeping me from getting to know him. And in getting to know him showing me who I was. So that's when I discovered my identity, when I spent an hour a day in quiet with God for 8 months. And I listened to the quiet whisper of God's voice. Now, this may sound foreign to you, and I get that. It was foreign to me until God put some successful businessmen in my life. One of them was a billionaire. That got my attention. I was going to listen to this guy because I'm an entrepreneur. And he spoke about how it's a discipline to learn how to quiet your mind and hear the quiet whisper of God's voice, that God is still speaking to his people. But we're not listening. We have too much noise in our lives, too many distractions. And I, for one, had too many distractions. So God reached into my life and removed all the distractions. And I slowly got to know him. And over time, and believe you me, it was not instant. I resisted God's love. Have you ever done that? Like I resisted God's love. Think about it. The creator of the entire universe, the one who created me, who has my best interests in mind. I resisted and blocked his love because I felt I knew better. I was reliant on me because I was the only one I ever trusted. See, I had been hurt as a child, as a little boy. I had been betrayed. The love that was given to me was ripped away. And I was broken and hurt and traumatized. So I said, I can't trust anyone, not even God. And that's what I decided as a little boy. I created that belief system for myself. and then live my entire life like that. Well, I am going to be the only one that takes care of Joseph. I'm the only one that I can rely on. And it turns out that it's not true at all. And I wasted so many years of my life, so many years of my life that I'll never get back, pursuing and relying on me. And finally, God showed me, and I realized what was going on. I realized why I was never catching up to the sunset. I was never reaching the horizon. I was never getting what I truly wanted in my heart, what you want in your heart: happiness, peace, love, forgiveness, joy, meaning, purpose, fulfillment, satisfaction, loving relationships. My life is in this forever stage of transformation, it seems. And all these things are coming into my life now. How did I get them? I got them by letting go of me. I was blocking God's love. So in order for my heart to receive what I truly wanted, all those things I just described, I had to remove me out of the way. Why? Because I was broken. I was wounded. And I had to just let God take over. You've heard the song, Jesus Take the Wheel. Man, if anybody knows me, any of my friends watching and listening to this right now, you know that I drive like a New Yorker because that's where I'm from. So you can imagine me letting go of the wheel and letting someone else take over and feeling comfortable about that. No way. Not going to happen. When I'm in control of the car, I know everything's going to be good. Everyone's going to be safe. Yes, it will feel like a roller coaster ride. It will be thrilling and an adventure when I drive, but everyone will be safe. So the same way I only trust me to drive, I only trusted me my entire life to run my life. And I have finally let go. I've let go of everything. And I started with this, and it may seem to you like the most hardest thing. I started with letting go of my business and my finances. Now, as a man, okay, and this is no gender discrimination, but as a man, and you men, I know you can relate to this, letting go of control over your finances, over your money, over your income, over your occupation, boom, crazy difficult. Why? Because as men, we associate our identity, who we are, with what we do and how much we make. True or true? I know that was the case for me. So letting go of that something so rooted in me and my DNA as a man was not easy. It was a very, very difficult process. But I asked God to show me how to do it. And over time, he did. And I was able to surrender the business. And I still try to grab the wheel occasionally. But it's so much less than before. And every time I grab the wheel, I tend to do what you would think. I yank it. And what happens to a car when you yank on the wheel in one direction? It tends to go off too fast in that direction, right? Which nearly causes an accident or fatality. And I almost wreck myself every time I try to take the wheel and take control back over my life and my finances from God. But I'll tell you, when I let go and I just let God run my life, and I'm dependent on him every day, dependent on him for my money, for my paying the bills, for my business, whether it grows or not. And listen, it's difficult. Like, to be patient and rely on God. God moves at a different pace than we do, doesn't he? I like to move fast. The way I drive is how I move through life. I am more of a sprinter than a marathon runner. And I know some of you, you love your marathons. I get it. Cool. I don't. I just don't. The thought of running for hours just with like gasping for air, and maybe you're better at breathing than me. Great. Congratulations. I'm not. Okay. So that's not fun to me. And that's how it is. Unfortunately, I didn't set this up this way. I didn't create this. God created this, but he created life to be a marathon. And he created life in such a way where his children, you and I, need to rely on him. We need to be dependent on him. And that's what Independence Day is all about. It's about letting go of control of our life, stop jerking the wheel or white knuckling through life with fear, with anxiety, with stress, with depression, despair. White knuckling through life. That's not what God wants for us, his children. So let go of the wheel on Independence Day. This could be your Independence Day. It's Independence Day for the world, for the United States, for America. But what if it could be your Independence Day? Personal. Can you look up to heaven right now and speak to your Creator and say, God, I want you to take over. I don't want to handle this anymore. You handle it. Here, take it all of it. Take it. I don't want it. I don't know what to do with it. Every time I pick up all the crap and all the messes in my life, I just make them worse. You do it, Lord. And I promise you, he will. He's doing it for me. Now, I haven't surrendered all the areas of my life. And I'll be vulnerable and transparent. Everyone who listens to my show knows that's what I do. Joseph Warren is transparent now, even when it hurts, because I believe in sharing this freedom, right? And this is Independence Day. We're talking about freedom here, so I'm going to share. I still struggle with letting go of control over my relationships, my romantic relationships. I want to be married and have kids and meet the woman of my dreams in order to do so. And for whatever reason, even though God has told me in my quiet prayer, I have sensed him telling me that he has a beautiful, amazing girl picked out for me. I still try to control it. I try to control who I go out with, when I go out with, where I meet them. I hate being impatient and not going out on dates. Like, it makes me feel like there's something wrong with me. It makes me feel like something's broken inside of me. I see all my friends in loving relationships. I see their wives looking at them the way I want my wife to look at me. And I wish I can have that. And yes, sometimes I do get a little jealous about that, because not from a bad place, not from a place of I'm not happy that they have that. I'm really happy that they have that. It's from a place of, I really want that too, so that I can share in that experience with them. And I know it's going to happen. Like, I know it here, right? But living it, man, that's a totally different thing altogether, isn't it? You know that. Like, trying to just let go and wait for God to move through your life. How difficult is that? Seriously. You know that's what he's asking you to do. Deep down, you know it's what you want to do, but you don't do it, do you? Neither do I. In certain areas. Because it's not easy. It's counterintuitive. What's intuitive is to take control and to control our life, to control others, right? I did that for years. Every girl I dated, I tried to control them. Like, it was ridiculous. I had like stupid control issues. And that's from a lot of trauma in my life. but I've let go of that control. I don't try to control other people anymore. So that's great. But I'm still locked in on controlling me and controlling my life and controlling the outcomes of my life, the results. And I got to stop because it's not working. The other areas, like my business, when I let go of control, it's working. God is doing amazing things in my business right now. Like it's the coolest thing ever. And like I don't even have to be there. Like like crazy. So why do I struggle to let go of this area of my life, my relationships, my romantic relationships? Why do I struggle so much with that? Like, what is it that is just holding me back there? Why can't I trust God with my future wife, with my future family? What is it? What is it about that specific thing that I'm just desperately holding on to? That control, that one area. The other areas I've let go. Why that one area? Huh. What's that one area for you? I'm curious. Feel free to email me or go to brokencatholic.com and click on the contact page and tell me, what is that one area of your life that you're still holding on to? And somehow you do not know how to let go of control of it and just give it to God, to give it to your Heavenly Father who wants to take it from you. That area that is so big, that is so overwhelming, that causes a lot of stress in your life, a lot of anxiety, a lot of worry. That one area. I could tell you, like, thinking about my future marriage and having kids, like, it literally occupies so much of my week. I'm not intentionally thinking about it, just the thoughts are going on in my head. And it's such a waste of time. As God says in the Bible, like you cannot control the future. Like just focus on today. Today has enough problems of its own. And yet my mind always wants to go to the future. Always wants to go to the what if. What if you don't get it? What if you're alone the rest of your life, Joseph? What if there really is something wrong with you? And you know what? I know it's a lie. I know it's all a lie. I'm a decent looking guy. I got a good personality. I take care of myself. But the enemy puts in this lie that there's something wrong with me. He's probably telling you the same lie. There's something wrong with you. So the question is, are we going to believe him? Are we going to believe our Heavenly Father and trust in what he has to say about the matter? How he loves us, how he is concerned about us, how even the birds of the air he takes care of and feeds. How much more important are you, his son or his daughter, to him? And he wants us to trust him on this Independence Day with your life. Will you trust God with your life today on Independence Day? Will you? That's the question. I am choosing yes in that area. God, I'm speaking to you right now, right here, in front of thousands of listeners in over 34 countries, and I am saying to you, I'm giving you my future marriage. I'm giving you my future wife. I'm giving you my future children, my entire future family. All the good, the bad, the ugly, and the beautiful. I'm giving it to you. Take it. I don't want it anymore. It's too much. I can't figure it out. I don't want to fix it. You take it. You handle it. And I will wait. And I will stay busy and active with the calling that you've put on my life to bring your word to your people and to bring them back to you. Because, Lord, we keep falling away. We're like little kids constantly pulling away from mommy and daddy's hands, wanting to go explore the dangerous sides of life. So, Broken Catholic Nation, I just want to look you in the eye right now and say, Happy Independence Day. Happy Independence Day. Independence from you. Independence from the enemy. And 100% dependence on God, your Father, your Creator, who loves you more than anything. Have a blessed Independence Day with your family. Be kind to everyone. Treat them with love and respect the way you like to be treated. Literally go pick up your son or your daughter, hug them, embrace them, tell them how much you love them. Look them in the eye and say, I love you, and there's nothing I wouldn't do for you. Go to your spouse if you have a spouse. Forgive them for the petty hurts. Forgive them for the big hurts, for the wounds. Forgive them, because you're not free when you are holding on to anger and holding on to unforgiveness. It's Independence Day. Set yourself free from all the hurts, the wounds, the bondage of your life. Call that person. Reach out to that person that hurt you when you were a child. Say, I forgive you. Snip the chains, cut the chains, bolt cutters. Just snap right through the chains of the poison that the enemy uses to keep you imprisoned in your relationships and your life. Set yourself free. Ask God to show you how. Forgive people. Love people. Have a blessed Independence Day. I'm Joseph Warren, and you were made for greatness. So stop being a wuss and start being a winner. Have a blessed day, and I will catch you right back here next week. God bless you. Cheers.